Hey, I know you're trying to expand your horizons, but we really enjoyed that News at 11 video and was wondering if you can maybe make some more Vaporwave videos for us. We just think that because...
You know this stuff is like 89 cents an Aldi? Let's set the scene. You're walking down the streets of your neighborhood when you see someone you know. We'll use good old Betty White for this. God rest her soul, her dying actually really hurt me. She turns to you and in her infinite wisdom asks you, what's the worst place in the world? Is it perhaps Detroit? Is it New England? Is it Times Square? Maybe. Am I just reading off levels from the Fast and Furious arcade cabinet that you could find at your local movie theater for $1.50 a race? Maybe. The cheese at Aldi is less expensive than the race. Well, the world has many locations that you wouldn't want to visit without a .50 caliber rifle, the General, and Shaquille O'Neal himself, who, funnily enough, had actually been business partners on multiple occasions. There's one place in the world that even the Flying Dutchman himself shudders when its name is spoken out loud. Middle school. Hello, I'm British. Firstly, I'm sorry about that. Second of all, what even is middle school? That's a great question. If you aren't part of the US of A, then you probably have no idea what middle school even is. Unless you've seen movies such as Diary of a Wimpy Kid 2010, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Project Rules, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, live action, Diary of a Clifford and the Big Red Wimpy Kid, also known as the Kool-Aid Man in some parts of America. Degrassi, which you're pretty sure was a show and not a movie, and it took place in high school and not middle school. But you know what? It had Drake in a wheelchair, so I'm gonna include it. Oh yeah, more like, oh no. Middle school to the average American child is that weird and awkward period between elementary school when you're a dumb little baby and high school when you're a dumb big baby, with the only difference being that now you work a job that you hate and more people around you smoke weed than you realize. Mom, please pick me up. I'm scared. Why is that? Well, there's many reasons, with the number one reason being the children. Hello, Mom and Dad. I'm writing this letter to let you know that most likely I will never have children. I'm sorry to tell you this, but I would rather stab my own leg with a number 2 pencil than have my child become a middle schooler. Ooh, youch, that's a little harsh, don't you think? The kids in middle school couldn't have been that bad. Dude, believe me when I tell you that children in middle school are the absolute worst thing ever. You can sit me down and force feed me fucking Zuzu pets and I would still have a better time than if I had to teach a middle school class for even a single day. See, the problem is that in elementary school, everything is nice and quiet and calm, and everything is like, hey little Danny, make sure to put your crayons away before the end of class. Don't forget your Pokemon cards for recess. And then you get to middle school and it's like stepping into the Hunger Games with PvP enabled, and also your partner just stabbed you in the same leg as the pencil. Ow, are you serious? Ow! Let's get into the science and break down the middle school superiority complex for a moment. Technically, this is the first time in a kid's life that they're moving up in the world, and it's the same feeling as working a part-time job at 16 years old and getting your first paycheck of $150. You're one of the big kids now, but you're not. You're a scrawny, prepubescent 11-year-old. But that doesn't matter to middle schoolers, and that probably didn't matter to you either. This is a real-world power-up, and with great power comes great complexes. You've now been granted an ounce of maturity. One more stop until high school. You're growing up and your mother is crying. We get it. Where did the time go and whatever? But to the undeveloped brain of a middle schooler, this gives way to a horrific metamorphosis of personality. They get a little more freedom with self-expression, they're more intelligent so they're able to speak their minds more, which usually involves causing petty drama and being unnecessarily edgy. Now imagine packing 700 of these little gremlins into one building for several hours a day. You can only imagine the chaos. It's like they read Lord of the Flies and used it as an instruction manual. Look, I have absolutely nothing against teachers. Especially in a time like this, you gotta hand it to them. A good portion of them work their ass off for less than spare change. Believe it or not, there's actually some really great teachers out there that care about their students. Shout out to none of mine though. When you put an underpaid teacher in a room that at 8:30 in the morning on a Tuesday looks like a subway station in the Bronx from the amount of xenon lights in the room, to teach about something that both the students and the teacher don't care about, The result is catastrophic. Bonus points if your school was told that they couldn't afford to put the heaters on during the winter months, but somehow managed to give the entire football team custom jerseys. I don't have anything against teachers. In reality, teachers are the building blocks to a successful future. Let me be the one to say, however, that one bad teacher can completely ruin your educational experience. Hey, I'd like to make another shout out to all the teachers that hated me as a kid because I have ADHD. You suck. While education is a beautiful thing to have and everyone should be able to get one, it's unfortunately not very good. Education, like MMO games, have a lot in common in the sense that they're pretty much a pay-to-win experience. The thing with MMOs is that, yeah, you can play the game either from a one-time payment or a free download, but if you want to be really good, then you gotta pay for it. That's like school in the sense that, yeah, you could go get an education at a dirty broke bum middle school, or if you were blessed enough to be born into a family of oil miners, you could avoid the general population and go to a private school like the perfect angel you are. Now you're probably sitting there wondering, Fang, what are you talking about? What are you saying? Come on, you're losing me. Step it up. And to that I say patience, young one. The meaning you seek behind my ranting is that every middle school feels like a battery farm. Middle school didn't exist in some kind of empty void that you could only reach when you no-clip out of reality. As much as it didn't feel like it when you graduated, middle schools all across America are actually real places. All of them are these buildings constructed to foster learning and friendship, and they all suck. Unlike the back rooms, however, you eventually get out of middle school. Now, I'm not saying that high school was this angelic relief from the horrors of middle school, but it was marginally better, I think. Have you ever heard the phrase, "This too shall pass"? It's true. Middle school came and went, and a lot of the pain that came with it left as well. In the end, middle school was this peculiar and emotionally exhausting experience in a gross building filled with even grosser people, and this video was pretty much half a decade of venting put into one. Thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Something, something, something. Goodbye.